Learn about the world. Romania. Romania is a republic in southeastern Europe bordering the Black Sea, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Hungary, Serbia and Moldova. Romania is the seventh most populous member of the European Union, the largest country in southeastern Europe and the 12th largest in Europe. Basic information. English name, Romania. Type of government, Republic. ISO, RO, RU. Country code, RO. Time zone, +2 o'clock. Telephone code, +40. Capital, Bucharest. Major cities, Iași, Constanța, Timișoara, Cluj-Napoca, Galati, Brasov. Largest cities in Romania, Cluj-Napoca, Iași, Constanța, Timișoara, Brasov, Craiova, Galati, Oradea, Ploiești, Arad, Pitești, Bacău, Sibiu, Târgu Mureș. Baia Mare, Buzău, Râmnicu Vâlcea. Area, 238,391 square kilometers. Terrain, mainly fertile plains, hills in the eastern part of the Danube basin, and large mountain ranges running north and west in the center of the country, collectively known as the Carpathians. Climate, continental, 4 seasons, cold winters and frequent snow, sunny summers. Population, 18,487,669. June 2025. Major ethnic groups, Romanians 88.6%, Hungarians, including settlers, 6.5%, Roma, Gypsies, 3.2%, other ethnic groups 1.4%. Religions, Eastern Orthodox 86.7%, Protestant 5.2%, Roman Catholic 4.7%, Roman Catholic 0.9%, Evangelical 0.1%, Unitarian 0.3%, other 0.4%. Languages, Romanian, official, minorities, Hungarian, German, Chinese. Natural resources, petroleum, reserves decreasing, timber, natural gas, coal, iron ore, salt, arable land, hydropower. Agricultural products, wheat, corn, barley, sugar beets, sunflower seeds. Potatoes, grapes, eggs, sheep. Industries, textiles, footwear, light machinery and auto assembly, mining, wood, construction materials, metallurgy, chemicals, food processing, oil refining. Exports, machinery, equipment, other manufactured goods, agricultural products, metals and metal products, chemicals, minerals, fuels, raw materials. Export partners, Germany, Italy, France, Hungary, UK. Imports, machinery, equipment, other processed goods, chemicals, agricultural and food products, fuels, minerals, metals and metal products, raw materials. Import partners, Germany, Italy, Hungary, France, Poland, China, Netherlands. Currency, leu, RON. The foreign relations of Romania is the policy arm of the government of Romania which guides its interactions with other nations, their citizens and foreign organizations, as well as its status as a member of the European Union, EU, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and other key international organizations. Since the end of the Cold War and the 1989 Romanian Revolution, Romania has pursued a foreign policy centered on Euro-Atlantic integration, joining NATO in 2004 and the EU in 2007. Prioritizing multilateralism, collective security, and democratic values, Romania maintains active diplomatic relations with neighboring states, including Ukraine, Moldova, Hungary, and Bulgaria. while fostering regional cooperation through initiatives such as the Black Sea Economic Cooperation, BSEC, and the Three Seas Initiative. Romania has also made clear since the late 1990s that it supports NATO and EU membership for the democratic former Soviet republics in Eastern Europe and the Caucasus. Romania is classified by scholars and international relations experts as a middle power, a designation reflecting its moderate but influential role in international relations and regional relations. Analysts highlight Romania's strategic geographic position, growing economic capacity, and active participation in multilateral institutions as key factors underpinning this status. Romania applied to join to the Schengen area in 2007, acquiring full membership in 2025 along with Bulgaria. In December 2005, President Traian Băsescu and United States Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice signed an agreement that would allow a U.S. military presence at several Romanian facilities primarily in the eastern part of the country. In 2009, U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton referred to Romania as one of the most trustworthy and respectable U.S. allies. However, by 2025, relations had worsened, with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance in February scolding flimsy suspicions and enormous pressure from its continental neighbors for causing the annulment of the 2024 Romanian presidential election in which Călin Georgescu won the first round. Relations with Moldova are a special case given that the two countries share the same language and a common history. A movement for unification of Moldova and Romania appeared in the early 1990s after both countries achieved emancipation from communist rule but lost ground in the mid-1990s when a new Moldovan government pursued an agenda towards preserving a Moldovan republic independent of Romania. After the 2009 protests in Moldova and the subsequent removal of communists from power, relations between the two countries have improved considerably. Romania is a member of the following international organizations: Council of Europe, International Atomic Energy Agency, International Red Cross and Red Crescent Movement, International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, NATO, United Nations, International Maritime Organization, Organization of the Black Sea, Economic Cooperation, Black Sea Trade and Development Bank, Union for the Mediterranean, Antarctic Treaty System, without consulting status, Asia-Europe Meeting, European Patent Organization, Interpol, European Space Agency. Romania maintains diplomatic relations with 191 countries. Human rights. Roma people, including Roma refugees escaping the conflict in Ukraine, continued to face segregation and discrimination when accessing basic services. Multiple protests took place peacefully without police using excessive force. The government adopted a new plan to prevent ill treatment of people with intellectual or psychosocial disabilities. Reports of domestic violence continued to increase. In December 2024, the Constitutional Court cancelled the first round of the 2024 presidential elections, held in November, due to irregularities and violations of electoral regulation. New presidential elections were scheduled for May 2025. In a human rights report published in April, the U.S. State Department denounced racism against Roma across the region, including in Romania. It noted that Roma in Romania continued to face discrimination and segregation in education and housing and to allege police harassment and brutality. In June, the European Roma Rights Center (NGO) reported that Roma refugees from Ukraine faced discrimination in accessing basic services including housing, education and healthcare. Focusing on the experiences of Roma refugees in 5 Eastern European reception countries including Romania. It noted that these problems were heightened by a general context of discrimination and inequality against Roma, as well as by issues such as lack of documentation and language barriers. The NGO Center for Legal Resources raised concerns that little progress had been made in overcoming segregation in the education of Roma children. With an inadequate regulatory framework matched by lack of will and effort by institutions. In April, the European Court of Human Rights, ECTHR, found that Romania had discriminated against and violated the rights of two Jewish plaintiffs, both Holocaust survivors. The court said that by failing to inform the plaintiffs and the wider public of extraordinary appeal proceedings, which had acquitted two high-ranking military officials previously convicted of crimes connected with the Holocaust, and by denying them access to the proceedings and files, Romania had caused emotional suffering and breached the plaintiffs' rights to private life and psychological integrity. In February, the ECTHR ruled that a judge's freedom of expression was violated when the Superior Council of Magistracy gave him a disciplinary sanction for posting Facebook comments about the resumption of political control over institutions in 2019. Peaceful protests took place across the country on issues ranging from environmental policies to women's rights and solidarity with Palestinian people in Gaza. There were no reports of excessive use of force by police. In May 2024, the government adopted a 5-year national action plan for the prevention of ill treatment in medical and social institutions. Requested by the Committee of Ministers of the Council of Europe, the plan was developed after the ECTHR condemned Romania in 17 cases. These concerned violations of the rights of people with intellectual and/or psychosocial disabilities who were deprived of liberty and held in institutions. Law enforcement agencies continued to register an increase in reported incidents of domestic violence compared with previous years. NGOs denounced the inadequacy of legal mechanisms and judicial procedures, including prohibitive costs and inefficient court processes. These structures failed to protect victims, predominantly women, from alarming levels of violence. NGOs reported that access to safe abortion services was being hindered by lack of information and a decreasing number of hospitals and clinicians providing abortions. Services were often available only in costly private clinics, while many doctors and entire public hospitals increasingly cited religious or moral objections to performing abortions. Greenpeace launched legal proceedings seeking the suspension of a major gas extraction project in the Black Sea, arguing that this would have a significant polluting impact on the environment. Transportation infrastructure in Romania is the property of the state, and is administered by the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, Constructions and Tourism. Except when operated as a concession, in which case the concessions are made by the Ministry of Administration and Interior. The country's most important waterway is the river Danube. The largest port is that of Constanța, which is the second largest port in the Black Sea. With over 13 million passengers, Bucharest Airport is a major international airport and European transportation hub. Air travel is used for greater distances within Romania but faces extreme competition from the state-owned CFR's rail network. Public transport is available in most areas. According to the Romania's National Institute of Statistics, INS, Romania's total road network was estimated in 2015 at 86,080 kilometers, 53,488 miles. The World Bank estimates the railway network at 22,298 kilometers, 13,855 miles, of track, the fourth largest railway network in Europe. Romania's rail transport experienced a dramatic decline after 1989 and was estimated at 99 million passenger journeys in 2004. but has experienced a recent, 2013, revival due to infrastructure improvements and partial privatization of lines, accounting for 45% of all passenger and freight movements in the country. Bucharest Metro, the only underground railway system, was opened in 1979 and measures 80.01 kilometers, 49.72 miles, with an average ridership in 2021 of 720,000 passengers during the workweek in the country. There are 16 international commercial airports in service today. Over 12.8 million passengers flew through Bucharest's Henri Coanda International Airport in 2017. Railway transport. A fast-growing number of Romania's major cities have modern tram or light rail networks, including Bucharest, Timisoara, Cluj-Napoca and Oradea. Recently the tram has seen a very big revival with many experiments such as ground-level power supply in Oradea. Public roads in Romania are ranked according to importance and traffic as follows: motorways, expressways, national road, county road, local road. Some of the national roads are part of the European route scheme. European routes passing through Romania: E58, E60, E70, E85, E79, E81, E68, E87, Class A, E574, E576, E581, E583, E671, E771. As of the 31st of December 2021, public roads totaled 86,199 kilometers, 53,562 miles. 17,530 kilometers, 20.3%, national roads, 35,096 kilometers, 40.7%, county roads and 33,573 kilometers, 39%, local roads. From the point of view of the type of cover, the structure of the public road network registers at the end of 2022 was 41,653 kilometers, 48.2% modernized roads, 94.1% with asphalt pavements of heavy, medium type and 5.9% with concrete. 20,956 kilometers, 24.3%, with light-duty asphalt surface, 15,713 kilometers, 18.2%, stone paving, such as set paving or cobblestone roads, and 8,014 kilometers, 9.3%, dirt roads. Regarding the technical condition, 29.9% of modernized roads and 41.1% of roads with light road clothing have exceeded their service life. Motorways are identified by a followed by a number. As of April 2024, Romania has 1,098 kilometers of motorway in use, with another 720 kilometers under construction. In recent years, a master plan for the national motorway network has been developed and many works have begun around the country, which will result in significant changes by 2015, and eventually by 2022. It is estimated that by 2021 there will be more than 10 million registered cars in Romania. In 2016, 62% of road fatalities occurred in urban area. Romania has 1189 fatalities in urban area. That is 60 killed in urban area per million inhabitants, or 3.2 times more than EU average of 19. Bucharest is the only city in Romania which has an underground railway system, comprising both the Bucharest Metro and the Bucharest Light Rail system of the Regia Autonoma de Transport Bucuresti. The Bucharest Metro forms the backbone of Bucharest public transport network. Bucharest has a fairly extensive subway system consisting of 5 lines, M1, M2, M3, M4, and M5, run by Metrorex. As of 2024, Bucharest Metro is the only metro system in Romania, with a second one, the Cluj-Napoca Metro, being under construction. The air traffic in Romania reached 20.28 million passengers in 2017 and 21 million passengers in 2022. The national carrier of Romania is Tarom. The largest Romanian airline is Blue Air, while Wizz Air has the largest share of Romania's air transport market. There are 20 airports in Romania, estimated as of 2006. Romanian companies operate over 700 ships, of which 400 are registered in Romania. Romania's 110 shipping firms employ 12,500 personnel at sea and 15,500 on shore. As of 2006, there are 1,731 kilometers of navigable waterways. The merchant marine has seen a dramatic drop in capacity during the first decade of the 21st century, from 142 ships, 1,000 gross tonnage, GT, to 19 ships, 1,000 GT or over. 50 other ships are registered in other countries. Education in Romania is based on a free tuition, egalitarian system. Education is regulated and enforced by the Ministry of National Education. Compulsory schooling usually starts at age 4. With the second year of kindergarten, Grupa Mijloci, which is mandatory in order to enter primary school. Schooling is compulsory until the 12th grade, which corresponds with the age of 18 or 19. The school educational cycle ends in the 12th grade. When students graduate the baccalaureate, higher education is aligned onto the European higher education area. In addition to the formal system of education, to which was recently added the equivalent private system, there is also a system of tutoring. Semi-legal and informal. Romania ranks 6th in the all-time medal count at the International Mathematical Olympiad with 316 total medals, dating back to 1959. Romania has achieved the highest team score in the competition, after China and Russia, and right after the United States and Hungary. Romania also ranks 6th in the all-time medal count at the International Olympiad in Informatics with 107 total medals, dating back to 1989. The Human Rights Measurement Initiative, HRMI, finds that Romania is fulfilling only 65.1% of what it should be fulfilling for the right to education based on the country's level of income. HRMI breaks down the right to education by looking at the rights to both primary education and secondary education. While taking into consideration Romania's income level, the nation is achieving 48.5% of what should be possible based on its resources, income, for primary education and 81.6% for secondary education. Education in Romania is compulsory for 15 years, from the second year of the kindergarten to the 12th grade. With the exception of kindergarten, preschool, and tertiary education, university. The private sector has a very low presence in the Romanian education system. Kindergartens offer preschool education for children, usually between ages 3 to 6, and typically last for 3 forms: small group, for children aged 3 to 4, middle group, for children aged 4 to 5, and big group, Grupa Mare, for children aged 5 to 6, with this last form becoming compulsory in 2020, and the middle form becoming compulsory in 2023. The preparatory school year is for children aged 6 to 7, and since it became compulsory in 2012. During the transition period after the law of 2012 was enacted, transfers of teachers occurred in order to fill in the educational needs of this year. Kindergarten services differ from one kindergarten to another, and from public, state to private ones, and may include initiation in foreign languages, typically English, French or German, introduction in computer studies, dancing, swimming, etc. Elementary school includes primary school, the preparatory school year and the next 4 grades of primary school, and then 4 more grades, grades 5 to 8 of gymnasium. Most elementary schools are public. The Ministry of Education statistics show less than 2% of elementary school students attend private school, unless parents choose a school earlier. The future student is automatically enrolled in the school nearest to his or her residence. Some schools that have a good reputation are flooded with demands from parents even 2 or 3 years in advance. A negative consequence of this is that in many schools classes are held in 2 shifts lasting from as early as 7 a.m. to as late as 8 p.m. Education is free in public schools, including some books, but not entirely, some textbooks, notebooks, writing instruments, consumables and uniforms may be required to be purchased. School starts in the beginning of September and ends in the middle or end of June the following year. The preparatory school year became compulsory in 2012 and is a requirement in order to enter the first grade. At the end of the 8th grade, usually corresponding to age 14 or 15, a nationwide test is taken by all students called the national test, also known as capacity exam, and can be taken only once. In June, the subjects are Romanian language and literature and mathematics, and additionally the language of the school for ethnic minority schools or classes, and for bilingual schools. Many high schools provide classes with intensive study of a foreign language, such as English, French, German or Spanish. A 2-part examination, grammar, vocabulary and speaking, is required for them. In Romania, higher education is provided by universities, institutes, study academies, schools of higher education, and other similar establishments, collectively referred to as higher education institutions, HIEs, or universities. There are 56 accredited public institutions and 41 private ones. As of 2016, universities are divided into 3 tiers: universities focusing on education, universities focusing on education and scientific research, and art, universities with an advanced research and education focus. Healthcare in Romania is mainly provided by the public sector, which runs most hospitals and offers national health insurance to nearly all citizens. In 2021, healthcare costs were $16 billion, or $2,385 per person, making up €5.69 of GDP. Government spending is higher than in markets like Bulgaria but lower than Hungary. Spending is expected to rise by $7.5 billion plus 3.68% from 2024 to 2028, reaching $27.3 billion by 2028. The Romanian National Institute of Statistics reports over 65,000 health units in Romania, with 53,000 in urban areas and 12,000 in rural areas. There are 543 hospitals, including 488 in urban and 55 in rural areas, along with 160 other hospital-like establishments. Nearly 50% of these are large facilities with over 100 beds, while 39% are small with fewer than 50 beds. The total number of inpatient beds is 135,085, allocated mainly to psychiatry, surgery, and internal medicine among other specialties. Romania offers benefits of a universal healthcare system. The state finances primary, secondary and tertiary healthcare. Public health campaigns are independently financed by the government of Romania. The Ministry of Health of Romania is required to manage and supervise the public healthcare sector. The access to healthcare is guaranteed by Article 34 in the Constitution of Romania, which specifies that the state is obliged to guarantee the sheltering of healthcare. Every citizen of Romania is entitled to cost-free, unrestricted medical procedures, as established by a physician only if they present themselves with a health card as of the 9th of September 2015, proving to have paid insurance. Citizens of the European Union, along with Romanian citizens without paid insurance, have the right to free emergency medical assistance. The hospitals listed below are the most historically relevant hospitals in Romania. Coltea Hospital, in Bucharest, was built by Mihai Cantacuzino between 1701 and 1703, composed of many buildings, each with 12 to 30 beds, a church, 3 chapels, a school, and doctors' and teachers' houses. Coltea Hospital has been re-equipped after a €90 million investment in 2011 and is now one of the most modern hospitals in Bucharest and Romania. Pantelimon Hospital was raised in 1733 by Grigore II. Ghica Street. Spiridon Hospital, in Iasi, opened in 1755 and described in a document from 1757 as the largest in Moldavia and Wallachia, is nowadays the second largest in Romania. Philanthropia Hospital had a capacity of 70 beds and was built in 1806 to 1812 during the Russian occupation. The hospital is still operational today. The Brancovanesc Hospital was inaugurated in October 1838. The hospital worked on the same principle as a free clinic, offering various vaccines and medical tests free of charge. Vaccination has been done in Romania ever since the 17th century, when people used rudimentary methods of vaccination, such as dipping newborns into cow milk coming from cows with smallpox. From the 19th century up until today, it has been compulsory that all children get vaccinated against hepatitis B, tuberculosis, tetanus, poliomyelitis, rubella and diphtheria. Romania is nowadays one of the nations with the highest success rate of organ transplantation surgeries. In 2013, the country joined the list of countries with the highest number of organ transplants performed. Romania was the top leader with the highest number of transplants achieved at European level, with a record of 60 donors in the first 4 months of 2013, when 120 kidney transplants and 53 liver transplants have been performed. According to Irinel Popescu MD, 2013 will probably be the best year in the Romanian transplants history, and according to MediaFacts, another 32 hospitals have joined the transplant program. Being involved in the identification of potential donors and maintaining suitable brain-dead candidates in a stable condition. The private hospitals have increased in popularity, especially since the 2011 proposal of privatization came into discussion. More and more Romanians are choosing to opt for a private insurance plan, which includes access to a private hospital. A reason for this sudden shift is the fact that private hospitals offer premium services. They tend to be more patient-friendly than the public hospitals, and they also have modern equipment. However, criticism has been directed against private hospitals, because although most of them are equipped with state-of-art medical devices, if any serious medical emergency occurs, the patient is transferred to a public hospital. This is usually done because public hospitals have more specialists who might be more competent than the ones in the private hospitals. Romania is the first country in Europe in terms of telemedicine. The National Telemedicine Network includes 2 command centers at Floreasca Hospital in Bucharest and Clinical Emergency Hospital of Târgu Mureș, and 56 hospitals in 19 counties. Sport in Romania is an important part of the country's culture. Romania has risen to prominence in a number of sporting areas in recent decades. Association football is the most popular sport in Romania, a nation of 20 million. The most successful club is Steaua Bucharest, who were the first Eastern European side to win the European Cup and the European Super Cup in 1986. Romania is one of only 4 national teams from Europe that took part in the first World Cup in 1930. The Romania national football team has taken part in 7 FIFA World Cups and had its most successful run during the 1990s. Romania was ranked third by FIFA in 1997. Other popular sports include handball, volleyball, basketball, rugby union, tennis, and gymnastics. Many Romanian athletes have achieved significant success and have won world and European championships in numerous sports during the years. Romania participated in the Olympic Games for the first time in 1900 and has taken part in 21 of the 28 Summer Games. It has been one of the more successful countries at the Summer Olympic Games, with a total of 307 medals won throughout the years, of which 89 gold ones, ranking 15th overall. Almost a quarter of all the medals, with 25 of them gold, were won in gymnastics. Romanian athletes have also won gold medals in other Olympic sports, such as rowing, athletics, canoeing, wrestling, shooting, fencing, swimming, discus throw, weightlifting, boxing, and judo. Handball is one of the most popular sports in Romania. The Romania men's national handball team has won the Handball IHF World Cup 4 times, 1961, 1964, 1970, and 1974. The only other team to have matched this record is Sweden in 1999 and France in 2011. The Romania women's national handball team has won the Handball World Cup in 1962. Steaua, Dinamo and CSM Bucuresti have also won several European titles over the years. Romania is represented by the men's and women's national volleyball teams. Both the men's and women's teams have won several medals at international competitions over the years, especially in the 1950s and 1960s. The men's national volleyball team also won a bronze medal at the 1980 Olympics. Its most recent notable results include the Final Four of the 2010 Men's European Volleyball League. The performance was also repeated in the next year, at club level. Dinamo Bucuresti, Rapid and CSM Bucuresti have won several European titles. The city of Bucharest hosted the Final Four of the 2017-18 CEV Women's Champions League. Basketball is a very popular sport among Romanian youth, although its results, both past and present, are more modest than other Romanian team sports. In 2016, Romania was chosen as a host for the 2017 FIBA Eurobasket. Romania will host the 2020 FIBA Under-17 Women's Basketball World Cup with Cluj-Napoca as the host city between August 15 and 23, 2020. Rugby union is a relatively popular team sport played in Romania, with a tradition of more than 100 years, and were bronze medalists when rugby was included in the 1924 Paris Olympic Games. The Romania national rugby union team competed at every Rugby World Cup up until 2019, where the team were disqualified for fielding ineligible players in the qualifying campaign. They returned to compete at Rugby World Cup 2023. The Romanian CEC Bank Superliga is the premier club rugby competition in Romania, which first commenced in 1914 and has been played almost uninterrupted since then. Fencing as a sport was introduced in Romania in the 19th century by French masters. The first national fencing competition was held in 1921 and the Romanian Fencing Federation was created in 1931. The first Romanian fencer to reach the podium in a major international competition was Maria Vical, who earned a silver medal at the 1956 Junior World Championships in Luxembourg. Romania holds a long tradition in artistic gymnastics, especially in the ladies' competition. Gymnastics is responsible for the majority of Romania's Olympic medals, gold, silver, and bronze. The most famous Romanian gymnast is Nadia Comaneci, who was the first gymnast to ever score a perfect 10 at the Olympic Games during the 1976 Summer Olympics. She also won 3 gold medals, 1 silver, and 1 bronze, all at the age of 14. Ilie Nastase, a famous Romanian tennis player, is another internationally known Romanian sports star. He won several Grand Slam titles and dozens of other tournaments and was the first player to be ranked as number 1 by ATP from 1973 to 1974. He also was a successful doubles player. Virginia Ruzici was a successful tennis player in the 1970s. Ilie Nastase and Simona Halep are the only Romanian tennis players to have achieved number 1 in the ATP and WTA, respectively. Oina is a traditional Romanian sport with similarities to baseball. Boxing is popular in Romania, especially in the TV broadcastings. Romanian oarspeople have brought numerous successes, including 35 Olympic medals, 18 gold for rowing and 34 medals, 10 gold for canoeing.